So this is the returns or refunds sheet of my Amazon Dropshipping Excel system. You can use this to process any situation or any order where you're having to refund the buyer, which means returns, cancellations. You can pick what type of situation it is here, such as return, cancellation, refund only. But you can also change these on the list under refund types. You can just change add to or change the options. And once you do that, it will be reflected over here. All right, so I'll just do a quick example. If I were to add a replacement, for instance, if you go back to refunds, you will see replacement is on the list. Okay, now you can add any notes about the return here. You have the date that the return was requested. I'm actually going to move this Amazon order number and put it over here. So first of all, you have the Amazon order number, right? So for instance, if it is the same order that I used in the previous video, I'll use that same order number. And let's say, so in other words, I had this order that was made, and now it's being returned. Okay, this is a request for return. I'm going to put in the date that the return was requested. That could be today's date, May 3rd. Status means where does the return stand at the moment. I'm going to select pending. Again, you can create more options. I might even have some, by the time you get this file, I might have different options here, additional options besides just pending or completed, but that's how I have it right now. I'll probably keep it that way. So it's basically pending or it's completed. Reason for return, usually get the reason from Amazon. They give you a reason code, and what the reason is, you can put that in here. You have the date authorized, when you actually authorize returns, because they can request a return, but you have to authorize it. Okay, so if you authorized it on the same day it was requested, now it shouldn't be, actually I'm going to change this, sorry, to May 5th, and change this to May 5th. I'm going to make it later than the original order date. Okay, then you have the RMA number. Whether you are getting the RMA number or having Amazon generate it, either way, this is just for you to store that RMA number in here. Okay, I'm going to leave it blank, but you could put the RMA number here if you want to. Okay, some things are like needed here, I feel, and then some things are not so much needed to be here, but I have the column here just in case you want to include it. You then have the supplier information. This supplier info is actually pulled automatically from the order. So once you put in the order number, it automatically goes to the order sheet and it will pull this information in, which is the supplier name, the account, the order number, and the date. Why did I do that? Well, it's so that you can go back and find the corresponding order for this return more easily. So if you get a return requested on order number 123- so on and so forth, and you're saying, well, what order is this on the supplier, you can instantly just put in this here, and you have that information on the order sheet, but it's easier when it just pulls up in front of you in this sheet. Okay, then you have the return shipment. So if you're doing a return, if it is a return, which in this case I'm doing a return, you might want to put the carrier optional. You might want to put return tracking number. Again, that's optional as well. Okay, it's not like something you have to include on this, but you can use that to keep track of your return. And then you have the supplier refund. This is necessary. It is necessary in order to calculate the loss of profit, which I'll explain in a second. And let's say the supplier refund is the same. Okay, let's say your supplier is refunding you exactly everything that you spent at the supplier. So let's say it was $110, which it was for this order. And let's say the supplier is giving you back $110. They're refunding you the full cost. You can put the date that you're, let's say you're getting the refund on the 10th or something like that. Okay. You actually don't 100% need the date either, but I figured it might be nice to have. That is your supplier refund. So you're going to get back 110. But now we need to look at the customer side of this, right? So is the item returned? Okay, did they even return the item? This is a yes or no question. Kind of optional, but you can, I figured it might be something you might want to keep track of. You have the buyer refund. Okay, what are you actually going to refund to the buyer? Okay, now you need to really understand what this means. Okay, the buyer paid a certain amount for the item, but remember, you don't actually get all of that money. Not all of that money goes to you, right? A lot of it goes to Amazon. The tax that they pay doesn't come to you. It goes to Amazon. The Amazon fee that Amazon took out, that doesn't go to you either. That goes to Amazon. So when you refund the buyer, you're really only refunding the money that you actually received. Okay, the other part of the refund is actually coming from Amazon itself. So Amazon has to give them back the tax. Amazon's got to give them back, that portion that they took out from your payment for fees, right? That's not your money. That's, you know what I mean? That's really Amazon's money. So the buyer refund, the refund to the buyer is what I mean by buyer refund. Refund to buyer. I'm going to actually rephrase this. So it'll be updated on your copy. It might be a little more clear that way. Your refund to the buyer is going to be actually what you got paid for the item. Your net payment, not the fees and all that. So just the net. So the net payment of $135.99. So regardless of what it might say on the actual Amazon account, because they're going to be including fees and tax and all that, whatever it says, you need to record the amount of money that you had to give up. Okay, it's very important. This is an important detail. Very important detail in calculating your profit loss. So what did you have to give up to the buyer? Okay. All right, I'm not going to beat a dead horse on it. The refund date is when are you going to get it back? Okay, no, when are you going to give the date that you give that money back to the buyer? So let's say you refund them on that. Let's say it happens on the 8th, okay? Okay, so you refund this amount to the buyer. So now the question is, how much profit did you actually lose? So I need to make you understand what I mean by profit loss, right? Profit loss means how much did I lose out of the profit I was supposed to get. So on this original order, if you look at the original order, I made a total profit of, okay, we can look at let's start with the initial. I made an initial profit of $25.99. So when I say profit loss, how much of that $25.99 profit, how much of that did I lose? Okay, that's what I'm looking at. So my initial profit loss is $25.99 because I'm giving back the buyer everything that I got from them. So I made $25.99 on the order profit, so now I'm losing $25.99. But now I want to make it clear though, if my supplier refund was less, if the supplier did not give me back all my money, which they did, what would happen is my loss would be even higher. So here it balanced out. So the point is that the initial profit loss, $25.99, is equal to the initial profit, $25.99. So that means that it balanced out. The supplier refund balanced out. The supplier's refund balanced out with the refund I gave to the buyer. So it's $25.99 earned, $25.99 loss, minus each other gives you a zero. You made nothing. Okay. But now what I did is I added another part for the total profit loss, because if you're really picky, you might be counting cashback. So now for total profit loss, I want to know, well, did I lose? I've got to look at the total profit, because this is just the initial, but let's look at the total. If I count the total profit, which is including the cashback, well, my total profit was $33.49 when I added in the cashback. So now the question is, well, how about my total profit loss? Well, to calculate that, I'm going to have to now add in the cashback loss. So let's say that I lost all of my cashback. okay, the 750 that I got, let's just say I lost all of it. You're going to have to manually figure that out. Type that in. Well, that means that not only did I lose this initial profit of $25.99, I also lost that $750 cashback loss. So now my total profit loss is $33.49. But guess what? That is equivalent, because again, it's exactly the same as my total profit on the order sheet, because I'm taking back out exactly what was put in. It was $750 in, I'm taking $750 out for profit loss, right? Cashback loss. So that's why it's the same. So again, so what happens when you calculate the net of the situations? You take the original profit that you made of $33.49, and now you're going to subtract what you lost, which was $33.49. You originally made $33.49, but then when they returned it, you lost $33.49. Profit loss balances out. You made $0 on the order. You made nothing. Okay. That calculation is not here on this sheet. I don't do that here. I could have done that. I could have automatically pulled that information in. I don't do it because that is not really the purpose of this sheet. This is just to store and calculate the profit loss. That will be taken care of on the profit summary sheet, which I'll explain in another video. So in this sheet, all of that profit loss will be for that day that you had to refund buyers. That will be added together. Okay, all that profit loss will be subtracted from the profit you made for that day. So in other words, I'm not going to do it order by order by order. But I wanted you to understand how it's being calculated, which it is being calculated order by order by order. I'm calculating it order by order with this formula. Okay, I'm using this formula to do that, to calculate the profit loss. But then as far as the net profit that is going to result from this loss combined with what you gained, that's being taken care of as a profit summary sheet, okay, which I'll explain in the next video, which is going to be done date by date. Okay, so this is order by order, this is going to be day by day. Okay, you're going to put in the dates here. All right, and you'll see how that works. But anyway, this is your refund sheet, and if it were a cancellation, if you were to do a cancellation, the difference is you would not be concerned with the return part, right, if it's canceled, but you might be, because sometimes I've had people cancel. The worst situation is someone cancels, right, and and you're having some kind of issue with getting a supplier refund or whatever, right? So of course, so anyway, that's a whole nother issue, but it's going to be a little different, but it's still, the numbers are still the same. It comes down to the fact that you still need to compare what the supplier refunded you versus what you had to give back to the buyer. Everything comes down to that. Everything still comes down to that. Doesn't matter if it's return, cancellation, or what it is. You still have that same problem of what is the supplier giving back to me and what am I giving back to the buyer. Those two things will determine how much profit you lose, regardless of what the situation is. So if the supplier is giving you back nothing, okay, well then you have kind of a problem, right? Okay, anyway, the main point is this you can use this to list and handle your returns. If you have any comments, suggestions, or questions, please do share, because it is extremely helpful. I've built this system, including this sheet, based on my own experience and things I dealt with, and I built it gradually over time, and then I recreated this fresh copy, a fresh, blank, new, better organized copy to share with other people, right, that I felt everyone else could understand. But sometimes there might be things that I didn't think about, or just or that not so much I didn't think about, that things that just might be real easy for me or clear to me that might not be as clear to you, right, since I'm the one who actually made it. So please let me know when you have questions or comments, so I can take a look, and then I can see how I can better explain something to you, or whatever. So any comments, suggestions, or questions are definitely welcome. Make sure you check out the next video, which should be on the profit sheet. And if you don't have a copy of the system, make sure you get your copy of it so you can use it.